Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you a review on Moving Beyond the Pages, language arts unit, The Family Under the Bridge. If you're new to my channel, I review curriculum all the time. I've already done quite a few videos on Moving Beyond the Page. We really like their unit studies. We use them as individual unit studies. We don't follow their yearly curriculum plan. I normally pick them more off of what books we want to read or what topics I want my kids to learn about. This one we have completed. So sometimes I review curriculum just more of my first impression, my overall thoughts on it, or I review it once we're done with it. So we just completed this, so I'm going to go through some of my thoughts on it, my kids' thoughts, any tips or things I have for you guys on it. I will link my overall Moving Beyond the Page video down below. That it just explains more of how this curriculum works, how you purchase it, all those types of things. So this is a language arts unit from them, and it's based on the book, The Family Under the Bridge. So as you work for the lessons, you're reading these chapters in the book. I was unable to find audio versions of this book anywhere, and I'm pretty good at finding audiobooks. So not on Audible, which I hate getting books on Audible because it's so expensive, but not on Audible, not through any of our library sources. We have Audio 360, Scrib. Just Google who has an audio copy of this book. I was unable to find it, which is fine. My girls just read it out loud. This book is a older book. I think we did the math 65 years ago, so it's not insanely old, but the verbiage in this book, the setting in France, there were a lot of challenging words that, especially in the first chapter or two, we were stopping so much to look up the words. Even myself, I was I don't know what that word means or how to even pronounce the word. So I was a little nervous when we first started reading this, how challenging getting through some of the words were, and I feel sometimes that can take away from the story. However, it didn't, and I feel it did ease up as the story went on. We weren't stopping as often. We were getting through it, and my kids were able to kind of work through it. So we took turns reading this aloud. I think we read one chapter per lesson is what it worked out to. And so we normally do one lesson per school day. We school 3 times a week. So this took us 3 weeks, which is normally what Moving Beyond the Page units take us, is around 3 weeks to finish. So they're pretty quick. There is a second book that is recommended, and it is the Punctuation Celebration book. So because Moving Beyond the Page is also a full curriculum where you could buy the entire year, each of their units, so obviously we're reading this book, there's discussion questions, there's activities specifically on the book, but there's also something else in language arts that they're trying to teach, another concept. And so the concept in this was punctuation. So every lesson was also activities and reading in this book about all the different types of punctuation. Now, we were still using our grammar curriculum, and some of the things we just were past. There was no reason for us to go over punctuation on periods and exclamation points. It would have just been overkill for my kids. So we did skip a lot of the activities in here on punctuation because I just didn't feel we needed them. There were a couple where colons and semicolons, we found that section in this book, we read it, and then we did the activities. And so here's just an example. So here's on semicolon, it's just a little cute poem to help remember why and when you use those. And then there's a activity to complete. So I think it's great. I think that if we needed more practice on punctuation, we probably would have done all of the activities related to that, but we just didn't need to, and so we did skip over a lot of those. Another thing about Moving Beyond the Page is they normally have a language arts unit and either a social studies or science unit that kind of correlates. So the one that goes with this is called Economic Cycles, and I will do a separate review on that because we did do them together. I don't think you need to do them together, but they do play a little bit off of each other because you're talking about a situation that this person, the characters go through with finances, and then obviously in the economic cycle you're learning about just economics and how money works in the world. There is a lot of references to like the economic cycle, opportunity cost within here. So here's an example. So this is in your language arts curriculum, but you don't have to be doing that economics unit to understand this, because they give you a little brief description of it as well. Something that also is consistent in moving beyond the page units, they always have some things that you fill out every chapter you read. So in this one, there was a character kind of study. So my kids kept this in their binder. After every chapter, we would come and write different things we learned about the characters, like physical traits, their feelings, what words they use, words to describe them. And so we really got to understand I think we did 4 of the characters very well. And then on that same note, we had vocabulary words. So it tells you like what page. And so, you know, maybe 1 vocabulary word every lesson or every 2 lessons. We would read it and then we would come figure it out. I do think there was a lot more opportunity for more vocabulary words. Like I said, we struggled with a lot of the words. And so like the word charity, that's, I feel like, more of a common word that doesn't need to be in a vocabulary, where some of the other words, I'm like, that totally could have been a vocabulary word. So I felt like they could have definitely done better with the vocabulary, but that's just my opinion. Each lesson, after you read each chapter of the book, has discussion questions. There's either a blank fill-in worksheet for your kids, so you could just hand it to them and then they could fill out the discussion questions, or in the teacher instruction portion, they have the same discussion questions and the answers. So what we do is we just do those verbally. My kids read and then I ask them the questions. I have the answers. So if I wasn't there while they were reading or paying attention, I have the answers most of the time. Some of the times the questions are more just your opinions and thoughts, and so it says answers will vary, but that's just more leading to discussion. I will say, and I should have said this in the beginning, this book is set near Christmas time, and so this is a good unit to do around the holidays, the giving season, reminding us why it's important to give and not want so much and things like that. So that would have been fun too, to tie in a little bit more towards Christmas. We're like into spring, and so, you know, it's kind of hard to get in that Christmas spirit while reading. And I apologize, I think I said there was 9 lessons, but I think there's 10 plus a end of unit project. Yeah, so there's 10 lessons and a final project. There's 9 chapters in the book. So I think the very first lesson, you're not reading a chapter in the book. There's lots of fun little activities. Like I said, there's, you know, make a poem. I think you design a house for the family. There's the punctuation activities, pretty much every lesson, culture commentary, and then at the end, there is a final project. So always moving beyond the page units have an end of unit project, is a reader's theater. And so you're going to have them read a script, choose a scene, kind of put on a little performance, which is super cute and fun. It gives you the characters, the script to read. So if you have kids that enjoy doing that, that's a really fun time. We did not do this final project just because we were working on 2 other projects at the same time, and it would have just been too much. Doesn't mean we won't go ever back to it. It's just it didn't fit in, but they always give you a final project rubric too. So if you do need to submit like grades or records, they give you kind of how to grade it and judge as well. So if you've been wanting to read this book, then I highly recommend getting this unit study. I think it was fine. It adds on those punctuations. So if you want to get extra practice on that, this book was a really fun add-on. I found all of these books on Thrift Books for super cheap, and my kids really liked it. So I always ask them, like, how was it? They really enjoyed it. They really liked the book despite some of the challenges in the beginning, and so they really enjoyed this unit study. And then if you are interested in the economic cycle, it's a great unit study for all of that. You could even do like the economic cycle first and then do this one after if you don't want to do 2 at a time. I think that would work really great. That unit I'm so excited to share with you guys because it has been my all-time favorite unit ever, so I'll be sharing that video soon as well. If you have any questions about this Moving Beyond the Page Family Under the Bridge unit, leave them down below. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. Bye.